Today, we remember a celebrated actress, up-and-coming writer and director. Take a look at this.
It happened quickly. In no time, she was the star of this indie cult film.
I'm sitting in a diner, freaked beyond belief. What have we learned here? Write it and direct it yourself.
She really knew what she wanted. She had such a clear idea of it.
Coming, you're rushing.
Okay, I messed it up a little bit.
It's fine, I don't care.
Her greatest joy was that child.
She was the happiest I'd ever seen her. I went to bed that night the luckiest guy alive.
So in late 2006, you may remember this, we covered it extensively, Adrienne Shelley was murdered, left in the aftermath a grieving husband, 2-year-old daughter, and heartbroken friends and family.
In the HBO feature documentary, Adrian, Andy Ostroy, directs and shares his late wife's story, and he joins us this morning with a preview. Good morning, Andy. We really appreciate your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So working on this film, it really must have stirred up so many emotions for you, from the sadness of losing your wife, Adrienne, to all the wonderful and precious memories you shared with her. So what motivated you to make this film?
Well, there was a real trigger moment. It was when I took Adrienne's mom to see the musical Waitress. And before the curtain went up, she got to talking to a few women sitting behind us from out of town, and eventually shared that her daughter had something to do with the creation of this great show. And one of them said, "Oh, that's amazing. Is she here tonight?" And it got me thinking, you know, how many people sitting in that audience knew who she was, or better, you know, or worse, didn't. And so that was the moment I decided that it would be, because she was a filmmaker and she was a storyteller, that the best way that I can honor her and pay tribute to her was to make a film about her.
You know, you speak of your daughter. So how was it for your daughter, Sophie, by the way, remembering her mom, learning about her through this film? Because your daughter reads a quote in the film, and that quote is, "Don't be afraid of dying, be afraid of never living." So is she at an age now where she can really understand what those words mean and meant to her mother?
Well, yeah, she's almost 18 now, and she's been dealing with, you know, growing up without a mother since she's 3 years old. And so at various stages of her emotional development, she's had to attempt to reconcile this tragedy in many different ways. But I think for her, you know, the film gives her a real window, as it does me and Adrienne's mom and everybody else, a real window into a life that was filled with creativity, and just as a person, you know, she was just an incredible human.
Yeah, so who are some of the people that you spoke with to open up that window in making this documentary?
Well, you know, I was with Adrienne for 5 years. We met when she was nearing 40, so there was a lot of missing pieces. So the pieces that needed to be filled in, you know, dated back to her childhood, her high school years, college, the times she left Boston University, came to New York, and was eventually cast pretty quickly in Hal Hartley's indie classic, The Unbelievable Truth. So from that period, her theater period, and just, you know, being a young adult navigating her way through show business. And so friends, family, colleagues, you know, people who worked with her in her films, you know, like Waitress. So you have Jeremy Sisto and Cheryl Hines and Kerry Russell and others like Paul Rudd, who did a reading of Waitress with her.
Yeah, I mean, and it's incredible because besides her incredible body of work on camera, she has that legacy that continues to live on, like with Waitress, right? So do you think, you know, would she have wanted to, you think, be part of the stage adaptation of the actual show?
I think if someone had said to her, "We're going to make a musical of your movie," she would be like, "Are you out of your mind?" And then I think when she heard Sarah Bareilles' music and knew that Jesse Mueller was cast, she would have been like, "This is going to be awesome." And that's what I felt. You know, I had watched Barry Weissler, the producer, work on this for years, and he went through many teams of, you know, creatives. And he said, I won't do this until I can get it right. And so when I heard Sarah's music and I knew that Jesse was going to sing it, there was no doubt in my mind it would be a huge success, which it is.
You talk about the time of Adrienne's death, what was going on for her personally and professionally at the time. So knowing what you know now, that she was on this great path and then losing her, what was that like for you? I mean, how did you cope with all of that?
You know, I think every one of us can look inward and look at our lives, and we all have tragedy, we all have death, we all have grief. And I think you know, when you find yourself in that moment, you just do what you do. I mean, you know, we all have tools, and some of our tools are better than other tools, and some people have more tools than others, and you just sort of hope that when you're faced with this stuff, you can do what you need to do. I had a child who wasn't quite 3, and I needed to take care of that kid.
Yeah.
And over the years, I needed to, you know, I felt that I needed to do for Adrienne what she cannot do for herself because she's not here.
Well, Andy, thank you so much for being here this morning, and thanks for sharing with us your thoughts, you know, and also the movie. I mean, it's titled Adrian, debuts tomorrow night on HBO. I urge everybody to highly check it out and stream it on HBO Max. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you again for having me.
Of course.